How to get Paraguay citizenship, the passport. We hear a lot of information about the residency. I'm a permanent resident myself in this nation, Paraguay, the capital Asunción. But what about the citizenship? How to get the Paraguayan passport? What are the requirements? There's a lot of confusion, and I'm here in this video after talking to lawyers and after ourselves helping clients get the Paraguayan citizenship by naturalization. I'm coming here to tell you how you can also do it. It took me months of discussions, of calls with lawyers to find out how, and you are going to learn it in just one single video. So stay tuned. We're going to cover all the most frequently asked questions about this citizenship. First, does the person have to live for 3 years in Paraguay to get the citizenship? Because you know it's 2 years of temporary residency plus 3 years of permanent residency before you can apply for citizenship. But what is the physical presence required? Do they want you to live there? The answer is no, it is not required. The most important things that are going to turn all the stakes in your favor are going to be: one, having an active RUC. The RUC number, you already know, it's the tax part. Then you are declaring the IVAs every month with an accountant. Number two, having a piece of real estate. That is critical. Even if it's a small piece of land that you are not building on it, or it's a small apartment or a student apartment, whatever it is, it can be $5,000, $6,000. The amount does not matter. What matters is having this piece of real estate in your name. Then number three, if you have a business there, opening a business, renting an office, again, in your name will be positive, because then there are ministries that have to sign the approval of your naturalization. So the more ties to the country, the more likely it is for them to move forward signature to signature. Just a full disclaimer before we continue: results are never 100% black or white, like do this checklist and it's 100% guaranteed. There's nothing like that here in Paraguay. So what you want to do is put probabilities in your favor. Real estate, active RUC, and even some business, it's going to help. The business is not necessary. The other two, ideal. And also, if you didn't just come to Paraguay and 3 years later appear again, I mean, that also is going to help. The fact that you're coming to Paraguay at least once a year for multiple days, the more the better, of course. But it's not the one that weighs the most in this decision. However, if you can make it happen, that's going to be good. Do you need to stay in Paraguay while you are doing the application for naturalization? So after 3 years of your permanent residency, you start the process of naturalization. What happens? Can you leave? You must stay? Well, the process has two parts. The first part, you need to be here in person. The second, you can leave. The first one takes 3 to 6 months. This one is an interview and an exam. It's easy to pass the exam if you already know the questions, and the lawyers, the team you work with, we help the people prepare for these questions, so you already know how to answer correctly. Boom, pass. It's pretty much 100% success rate. You're gonna pass the exam because you're already expecting of what they're gonna ask you. The basic Spanish, it's all you need, so it's not mandatory, but basic Spanish is recommended. And because they summon you to an interview, to the exam, some documents are required, some signatures are required. This part of the process, it's better for you to be in person there. So anytime they call you, there's no delay. So you can go to the office the next day and keep the process moving forward instead of, oh, I'll continue the process in 3 months when I go back to Paraguay, if that makes sense. The second part is the signature of all the ministers. For this, there's nothing you can do in person. You can leave, you can just have to wait. It usually takes 12 months. So this is just a game of patience. After that, if all the ministers sign, then you're gonna be approved, have your naturalization certificate, then the passport, the physical booklet, can be expedited and printed. So the total timeline is 18 months. 3 to 6 first, presence required, 12 months later, just a patience game. No guarantee, but these are ballpark numbers. And what about the exam and the interview? Is it something you need to worry about? Actually not. First of all, the interview is something that usually gets skipped, so you might not even have to do it. The exam, yes, has to happen, and Spanish is not mandatory. Interestingly enough, Paraguay, Spanish-speaking country, It's not mandatory. It will depend also and a lot on your nationality. For example, and this is something we don't choose, I'm just telling you, don't shoot the messenger, I'm just sharing what's working in Paraguay. But if you are German, chances are you're gonna get approved for Paraguayan naturalization. It's a nationality they like. There are other nationalities they don't like as much, for example, Arabs. So it is something that if you have less chances in your favor, you'd rather speak more Spanish and show more ties to the country, and that you're willing to, blend into the country and be a part of Paraguay as a jurisdiction. And if you have a strong passport or nationality that Paraguay wants to attract or says, okay, these people are welcome, then even if you don't speak Spanish, there are clients that got approved for naturalization, got the Paraguayan passport, even not speaking Spanish, just because they know how to answer the questions in the exam because they were well prepared by the team. In a second, we're going to cover the costs, which I know is a question that everybody wants to know. But first, some of the logistics. How long does the Paraguayan passport take to get printed once the Paraguayan naturalization process, the citizenship, is approved? It takes around 2 months. Once you have your Paraguayan citizenship, do you need to stay in Paraguay for a period of time? Do you have to come back every certain time to not lose your citizenship? The answer is no. Once you are a citizen, they will not take it away. You can keep it, you can travel like any citizen. Imagine somebody born in Paraguay that decides to live 20 years somewhere, they still keep the passport. Of course, the passport will have to be renewed every time that it expires. You'll be able to do that in an embassy somewhere abroad, or come back to Asunción, the capital of Paraguay, and renew the passport there. But the citizenship is approved for a lifetime. How much does it cost to get the Paraguay passport? How much is the process of the citizenship, the naturalization? Well, there are two factors to consider. One, there's a monthly fee with our team to assist you until the process is complete. So if it's 18 months, it's going to be 18 payments, plus of course the initial fees and the legal fees to the Paraguayan government directly to expedite the passport. However, the longer, the more you'll pay. Also, there's a way to shorten it. Some investors, there are some entrepreneurs, all the first-class citizens that value speed. Well, Paraguay is a country that understands speed, if you know what I mean. So that's also another cost involved for accelerating. That's going to reduce the total months, but it's going to increase a bit the cost because you want things faster, and speed equals some more money. However, you can talk to us and explain how fast you want the process to be done, and we'll assess, first of all, whether if it's possible, if it's not something crazy delusional, and number two, what's the quote for that. Also, depending on your nationality, the cost will be higher or lower. Let me explain. There are some nationalities that are well seen in Paraguay, like the Germans, Europeans in general, Spanish people, Italians, even people from the Mercosur, okay, other Latin American countries of the Mercosur agreement. Paraguay is part of the Mercosur. So all of these tend to get expedited faster without those many checks. However, Arabs, Africans, Chinese people, these usually take longer, and there's a higher scrutiny on why this person wants the citizenship, shall we approve this person or not. Finally, depending on your funds as well and what you can prove to the government, that you have money, that maybe you have deposits in a bank, the real estate, the offices, like we mentioned before, the higher your status, your economic level, the faster the ministers will see a case that does not pose any risk to the country. Actually, it's beneficial to the country, and they're gonna sign faster to complete all the signatures and expedite your naturalization certificate, therefore your Paraguay passport. If you want our team to help you get your Paraguay passport, your citizenship, after 3 years of permanent residency, you can click the link down below and book a consultation with us. Also, if you have any more questions that I didn't cover in this video, please put it on the comments down below. We are going to make part 2 as well. All of the answers that I'm giving you are validated by lawyers that got citizenship to clients. So they know exactly the process from A to Z because they successfully completed. So everything that I'm sharing with you, it's validated. If you want a part 2, let me know in the comments. And if you want to know more about this country while you wait for these 2 years of temporary residency, 3 of permanent residency until you are eligible to get your Paraguay citizenship, well, you can check this video over here where I explain more about this beautiful country in Latin America. Miquel Gironès, the extraordinary, adeu, and check more about Paraguay.